Councilor Plumbo?
Yes, here.
Can you hear me? Put your hand up if you can hear me. Okay, thank you. Okay. I'll call the order, approval of agenda.
Moved by Councillor Ian Chambers, second by Eugene Caputo. Be it resolved that this council hereby approves the agenda for July 12, 2022, and any addendum as presented.
Questions? All in favor? Carried. Any disclosures of, we have one disclosure of interest, Council Mike Matthews. So he has a conflict of interest with you. Okay. Minutes of a previous meeting and minutes of the regular 14th, September the meeting, June the 9th.
Okay, moved by Councillor Ian Chambers and second by Councillor Caputo. Be it resolved that this council hereby approves the minutes special meeting of June 9th, 2022, and regular meeting of June 14th, 2022, as presented.
Resolution, any questions? All in favor? Carried. Questions, information rising out of the minutes? None? Additions and delegations, PSD, assess management. You have anyone?
Nobody is here to present.
Okay.
Is that supposed to be the presentation time? Okay.
Okay, moved by Councillor Ian Chambers, second by Eugene Caputo. Be it resolved that this council hereby adopts the assessment management plan as presented.
We're not.
I think we have to do it like it's just do now.
Yeah, there is a lot of questions I have out of it. If you have time to read it, it's long and it's a lot of questions, but we have to approve it so we can have them back on another date to, or call me, Councilor Chambers.
Yeah, this is like 3 times the size of the one that.
Yeah,
So much more.
yeah, there's quite a bit, there's like, we're $1,400 in deficit. I was another question, I don't know where the deficit is, but there's quite a few questions, so.
141,000.
114,000.
114,000.
But that's a question we'll set a meeting maybe in August or something to talk to them or whatever. Okay, you heard the resolution, all in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Okay, Conservation Authority. You can have a seat in the hot seat.
Just at the head table.
Oh, that's open.
and what we're going to discuss. Yeah. Okay. So the next, I provided these for you to review prior to the meeting. So the background is just an indication that the source protection plan has been updated through section 36 Water Act. That was approved in April of 2021 by NEC. We've also had our annual progress report has been approved over the years, and those are available for reviewing on our website. The director's technical rules, which is explaining how we come to our conclusions, was updated again in 2021. And so therefore we have to do some changes to our source protection plan to meet all of the new rules. Next slide. One of the changes to the director's technical rules was with the impervious surface and how it applies to the road salt circumstances of threats. So we've done some preliminary analysis. The source protection committee met and they have decided that we should go from a 1 kilometer grid analysis to a 500-meter grid analysis. And that includes, for the interest of Prince Township, it also includes the impervious surfaces that are near the intake protection, or the intake. That's right. Next slide. The handling and storage of road salt has changed drastically. So now they're looking at the circumstance of exposed to precipitation or runoff, with circumstances of less than 10 kilograms of salt to more than 20 kilograms of salt. Examples are the yellow salt bins that are outside of retail outlets. The next up is the potentially exposed to precipitation roads and runoff. And these are examples of the skids of bagged salts that are outside of retail outlets. Those are they meet the criteria for the more than 50 kilograms and potentially exposed. The third one is the handling and storage of the road salt not exposed to the precipitation runoff, and the circumstances of less than 250,000 kilograms to more than 500,000 kilograms, and those examples would be the salt dumps. So some of those we have to review our salt policies. We have 2 of them, and those will have to meet a new criteria. So there's going to be some editing of that. The storage of snow, it's not so much a problem in Prince Township, but in the city, in our vulnerable areas, it could become a problem. Now they've changed the circumstance from a volume to now we have to map out an area. So if the area is less than 200 meters squared to more than 2,000 meters squared, then we have to take a look at that and define if it's a significant project. And intake protection zone, which is really a concern for Prince Township right now, is the preliminary review of the changes for the intake protection zones in the director's technical rules. Does not change the vulnerability scores, so that's a good thing. So we just have to review all of our policies that could be impacting the intake protection zone for any potential changes. Climate considerations. So we're going to be looking at an assessment tool that was created by Conservation Ontario in consultation with the NECP, but it's not endorsed by the ministry. So we're going to be looking at that because it has, when it goes through all the calculations, it comes out as to the summary that we can use in our documents, whether it's the assessment report, the source protection plan, or the explanatory document. The assumption is that the data is free and readily available to populate the assessment tool because it takes into account meteorological data as well, so rainfall, temperature, snowfall, that type of thing. And in this case, we're going to be using some of the city of St. Marie staff to work on this tool. So going forward, the Source Protection Committee will be making decisions on methodology of any changes that may be required to do to meet the new director's technical rules. We're going to be working on the climate change risk assessment tool. Into later in the summer, the chair appointment is due to expire, and we expect a new or reappointed appointment in the fall. The member appointments will expire in December 31 of 2024. And currently, you have Hal McGonigal as your rep on the source protection. The annual progress reports, as I mentioned before, they've been submitted to the MECP and they're available on our website for you to review over the years because we started in 2017. The Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks developed a best practices document, and this helps the areas where they're not within a source protection plan, so they're not within an urban service plan, urban service area, and they aren't regulated by the Clean Water Act. So, for example, Prince Township, if there's people that are concerned about it, they can go to this document to see what the best practices are to keep their water, their wells safe from pollution, from heating of the aquifer as a whole. So that document's available, and it's very interesting. It has a lot of the best management information. Source protection meetings are open to the public, and we're hoping to meet in the fall in person. And if you have any further questions, my email is there and my phone number at the conservation. Did I keep it to 5 minutes? Is there any questions?
Excuse me, you gotta read the resolution first. And
Okay, moved by Councillor Madio. Moved by Councillor Caputo and second by Councillor Chambers. Be it resolved that this council hereby accepts the source water protection plan as presented.
I just want to know your data and how, what's your scope of time that you've done the research from? Like you go for the last 10 years? Because of the weather change, the snow change, the roads get more salted and sometimes you have winter but no salt.
Okay, so you're asking two different things.
Sorry.
So the salt, the road salt application is actually a plan, but you're talking about the meteorological data.
Correct.
Okay, so the meteorological data, I think they're going back as far as you can go, so that they can develop, so they can see what the trends are.
Right.
So when the software looks at that, they do an analysis on what the trends are, whether it's going into a drought situation or if it's sufficient water coming in.
Okay. And I was curious as to the storage of snow. Is it have to be certain distances from areas? My dad has a storage on people's road right by there, and then it drops down to the ground all along the railway tracks.
Yeah.
Is that another? You go into that and look for where the proper place is stored?
Where the snow is stored within a vulnerable area. So on the website, You will find maps and the documentation that describes the vulnerable areas, and that can show you where they are.
This website. Thanks. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Council Colombo, do you have any comments on the resolution and the information?
No comments, thank you. I have no comments.
Okay, are you mute? Okay, I'll move on. Council Chambers, you got any comments? I have a couple comments. Most of this presentation deal with Susan Reed, because we don't store salt here. We don't control how much salt on the road because the government controls that. And storage, snow, of course, so it's different, but a lot of it's what we take care of, most people take care of the wells. And it's a good presentation. Oh, yeah. Okay, you heard the resolution? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. The other update on this. I wouldn't go there.
It's in nations, isn't it?
Aloysius.
Wishes. Actually,
So we talked last summer, and at that point, we were waiting on, I think, the bishop to initiate the transfer of the deed from the church to the township. I think the consensus when we left the meeting in the summer was that the township was willing to cut the line. Right, to maintain. So since then, we have met the new bishop. He came out to the cemetery. There was a few people that he met in the cemetery. He's brand new and he's very keen and he's very interested in history. And kind of to my surprise, he was very interested in working in a partnership, maintaining the deed because he didn't want to lose that Catholic connection to that cemetery and all the history that went with it. So his plan was you would work as in partnership, and they were willing to put in money. He understood it would cost money to maintain the cemetery. He then met with Mary Lynn in February, but I have no idea where that meeting went to or what was discussed. He came back in, I don't know if it was May or June, one of those, and back to the cemetery, and he has made a connection with St. Mary's College, Catholic school, high school there, and hoping to involve students in education in the project. From my perspective, he is interested in maintaining the church connection, as in having mass or having prayers or doing things within that cemetery. He's very interested in maintaining what is there. Talked about erecting the cross that's fallen, or some form of the cross. He brought out two people from St. Mary's College, and we went ahead and marked a lot of the places where we know there's memorial on the ground or rocks or anything designated where they're likely grave. Because at that point, no one had raked it, no one had cut it. So again, we had an issue where the grass is high and you can't see what's there. So since then, it has been cut. The township was good. They have removed 3 big piles of leaves. There's 1 more to go. It's been cut again since then. My concern is it's great we're going to have this partnership, but who's cutting the lawn? Because if we don't cut that lawn on a regular basis, it's full of lilies and these other, I forget the name of them, some kind of thing. But anyway, it grows like crazy. As soon as that grows up, any leaves that fall are trapped in there. And it will be this high before you know it. So I don't know I'd like to get to the bishop. I don't know if the township is willing to do the cutting of the lawn if the deed is in the hands of the diocese. And I guess from my perspective going forward, until we know that answer, we have a problem and we don't have a legal plan for the cemetery. So that's why I'm here.
We have a resolution. So I'll read the resolution first, and then I'll council thoughts.
Moved by Councillor Caputo and second by Councillor Chambers. Be it resolved that this council hereby accepts the update from Gail Russell regarding the St. Albans Cemetery.
On the resolution and the information, Councilor Chambers, what's your opinion on this?
I like the idea of partnership. Hammer. Apparently, but yeah, because we were willing to take over, do it prior. So I think as a partnership, we could still work in that sort of agreement.
I'm 100% with you, Ian, Councilor Ian Chambers, but it'd be nice if we can have a sit down and we can work out what this partnership could be, and maybe the township can. Do you have a rough estimate? You know, put you on the spot, but say, is it take an hour or two to cut the grass?
It takes, you can't take your riding lawnmower in there, okay,
It's
so
all
it's a
hand,
push mower.
Yep.
And when it's cut, when it's been maintained, it wouldn't take an hour.
So it's an
It's
immediate
not,
cut.
it's not an owner's job. I would say a week to 10 days, depending on the lane, depending on how fast things are going. A big issue is when the leaves fall. And now there's an issue with the fence, because originally, the Catholic Church, when years ago, when they were saying they would send us a deed, right? They had to erect a fence around the outside, that was their condition. Well, the fence is there, however, it hasn't been attached to it has metal posts, hasn't been attached to that very well, and it's starting to come off all of those places. So, I don't know, a plan is great, the trick is, in 10 days from today, who's cut the lawn? That's my concern, because it takes a while to get together. He's a really busy guy, and he really is all over this, his jurisdiction, diocese, whatever you call it. Because he's every week, he's somewhere doing something, you know. So his connection to education is great, but education shuts down in the summer, and education fluxes how it runs. So if you do this on a volunteer system, I don't think it's not gonna maintain it the way it needs to be maintained. But he's a good guy, and it would be great if he could meet with you.
Council Palumbo?
Can you hear me at this moment?
Oh, can't hear you. You're muted.
He's.
Put his volume up.
Okay.
Anyways, it's all good.
Okay. We gotta move ahead with this, because we do have to get grass. We have students now, so it will probably take anywhere from 1 to 2 hours by the time you have to cut the grass and clean up a little bit. So you might say 2 hours. We have students right now. The lead pickup, unless we can find a labor to help our road manager, it's gonna be a little hard, but right now we have students cut the grass. I think it's a good idea. We should go partners. I don't know about family.
Well, they're willing, he's willing to put money into this too.
Yeah.
He's not trying to just, you know.
No, but we could cut the grass for sure, maintain it. If he wants to find how to fix the fence up, we put the cost.
I can look at it with him when we meet, right?
We can sit down with him, or one of us sit down with him.
So will you connect with him, or will I
You
connect with him?
connect.
How will this, I will connect him,
Connect.
and he will go through who? Because he went through Mary Lynn, so who will he go through at the office?
Oh, we'll have somebody in place. See, unless it comes right away, you can talk to Lorraine, and so the new person in place shortly, and you talk to the new person.
Okay, so that would be the, and so I don't have to worry about the lawn anymore as of today.
we should add that to the resolution. Once they.
Talk is cheap, action is good.
If it's in writing and we accept it, then you don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
But we don't put add to the resolution, doesn't mean nothing.
I'm with
We
you.
can say, well, nothing, sorry, you're on your own. But I know how you feel, because
What do you think, Gail, 4 bags, garbage bags will fill it with that leaf pile?
Oh, the one that's there now,
Yeah, there's only one left, you said.
the small one. You have no idea how many leaves have gone out of it.
well, they'll,
The pile was probably 10 feet wide, 10 feet deep, and 6 feet high, 3 times.
I was just gonna help you.
it would be nice to have a compost area in Prince Township, but we would get mattresses and garbage and everything, so we can't have it. But it'd be nice to have a place where you can take your leaves, but it won't work.
Well, so far you've done a great job removing them, but you have to pile them and get removed.
Yeah, that'll be, yeah, our office staff will respond. Okay. You want to read this?
Yes. So I'm gonna add also have the road crew cut the grass
We'll,
for
we'll,
the summer.
we'll prove
Forever?
it.
For
Oh.
the summer.
We'll prove this first. Gotta pass this approval amendment, then we'll prove everything together. The approval of also have the road crew cut the grass for the summer. Good, that's a good part.
End of the season.
Well, we'll take care.
Well, for the summer, so they'll,
But then do we have to worry next season?
no,
Work it out.
for, we should just put, also have the road crew cut the grass.
Maintain the
main-
cemetery.
Maintain the yard work in the cemetery.
That's cutting it.
Maintain the yard work, yeah. And don't put time. No summer, just maintain the yard work.
Perfect. That means next year too.
Well, it just says that, so.
Perfect.
We haven't met with the bishop to figure out we're gonna work together.
So I
Councilor Colombo, sorry, says that he does support the students looking after the grass cutting.
Okay, here's the amendment. Also have the road crew maintain the yard work for the, not, shouldn't have this summer, not for the summer.
This-
Yard
From
work,
now on, you want it?
Or-
Okay.
all
Let's
right,
do that then for the yard work.
yard work for the cemetery.
And I will connect with him to connect with you folks to get some kind of plan. in
Yeah,
place.
so maybe this is for the,
Well, how it's gonna work in partnership.
okay. You heard the rest of the amendment, all in favor of the amendment? Pass, okay. Be resolved that the council hereby accept the update from Gail Russell, Garden of St.
Aloysius.
Aloysius Cemetery, and also have the road crew maintain the yard work for the cemetery. You get the resolution, all in favor? Carried.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry, council, I am just going to interject to say that from, for the asset management presentation is online, if we wanted to go back to 6A, or should I?
Just type and tell them, we'll set up a meeting. Go through.
Will do.
Fire chief report?
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I think you said fire chief's report. I don't have anything to add aside from report. Questions?
Go ahead, Steve. Comment on your report, Steve?
No, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yep, okay. No, I have nothing to add aside from what's on the report. If anybody has any questions, I'm free to answer.
okay, we'll read your resolution.
Councilor Ian Chambers and police report is
Questions? All in favor?
I just want to know what happens to the door.
Oh, well, that's next.
Next one?
You're gonna talk about the door next, eh, Steve?
Okay, I'll stay on.
Oh, we need, yeah. Okay, I mean, all in favor of this resolution?
To accept his report.
Yes.
No, okay.
Carried. Okay. Resolution.
okay. Moved by Councillor Eugene Caputo and second by Councillor Ian Chambers. Be it resolved that this council hereby accepts and authorizes the repair presented by Winmar.
Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so so the report in front of you is from our insurance adjuster. We had an incident where a truck was pulled out with a compartment door open, and the door struck the side of the overhead door. So we've had the truck door repaired. We had some emergency repairs that needed to be done so that the doors could go up and down in the fire hall. And then the remaining repairs, we were referred to Winmar by our insurance adjuster. The remaining repairs, you have the quote in front of you. It does not meet, the damage was on enough that it's an insurance claim. It's under the deductible. So that's the quote that we have in front of you for the repairs to the brickwork and
It's quite a bit of damage, eh, Steve?
so there is. I've had 3 or 4 people that have come to do quotes say that there's, like, for instance, the damage to the brickwork. For the hit that it took, that should not have happened. And then, so there may have been some structural issues with the brickwork already. And, you know, as I spoke to the mayor this morning, we're having some issues with the brickwork on the other side of the building as well, around the corner. So, yeah, hopefully it will be repaired to the point that it'll be better than it was.
Councilor Caputo, you have any comment on this? Councilor Chambers?
The apartment door did all that damage.
The doors are.
Compartment door or the fire hall door?
Compartment.
It was,
It's unfortunate.
it was an accident. It's not the first time one of the apartment doors left open and on calls. I guess you set a policy where you'll be closing the door and walk around first. Steve?
Yeah, so that was done. It was just I'm not going to get into it because it's a personnel issue,
No,
right?
okay,
But
agree with me.
yeah, so let's just suffice to say that there's not alarms on that truck either when a compartment door is open. So on our new truck that we're going to be getting, and as well as other truck, FDA standards is there has to be an alarm for when a compartment door is open. If you put it in drive and the brakes, an alarm goes off. That truck doesn't meet NFPA standard.
Okay. You heard the resolution? All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Steve.
Okay, thank you. Everybody have a good day.
Gold report?
Yeah, moved by Councillor Eugene Caputo and second by Councillor Ian Chambers. Be it resolved that this council hereby accepts the road report as information.
Any questions? All in favor? Carried.
Moved by Councillor Eugene Caputo and second by Councillor Ian Chambers. Be it resolved that this council hereby requests that the road super gets quotes for a new road truck with the
remember we talked about this for next year to have a, because it takes so long to come in, we start the process now. So, any questions? All in favor? Carried. That is not right, just
He's not here to ask a question, I think. Salt they're putting down on the whole road, calcium, I mean, yeah. For dust control.
okay. Treasury report, revenue,
Moved by Councilor Ian Chambers, second by Councilor Eugene Pluto, be it resolved that this council hereby accepts the June revenue report in the amount of $72,913.46, and the June expenditure report in the amount of $196,739.10 as presented.
questions? All in favor?
The dust control, I was just checking,
No, excuse me, let's go, Council.
on the dust control, can we talk about that?
Sure.
And also, is there other areas in the township that is getting calcium put down
Prince Lake Road.
in St. Road?
It's once a year, you do that once a year.
So do you have a date as to when that happened?
Today.
Oh. Saturday, I wasn't up there. Couldn't on Saturday. So Prince Lake Road and just that stretch at Walls.
Not cheap, yeah.
And are we done with Ephraim?
Not yet. Two. No other questions? All in favor? All in favor? Carried.
It was like a ice fishing shed.
Okay. Legal gold package, WMG legal gold package upgrade.
Okay, moved by Councilor Ian Chambers and second by Councilor Eugene Pluto, be it resolved that this council hereby agrees to the upgrade of the WMG Gold package as presented. That's and we're best to put that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Okay. Recreation committee, check present presentation to early on in the library.
Thank you, Bart.
Oh, she means check.
Yeah.
Big check.
So do we have Katie, Kate from the early years? I guess not.
No.
Oh, we have Rita?
I'm in the middle.
Oh, yeah. So on behalf of the recreation committee, we will need $500 to use as a secret in the library. And I don't know if you. Oh, yeah, the one from my side. And I'll make sure that Kate gets the.
Oh, you're gonna take it there and just send it to, we send it to,
Yeah. Volunteer in there. Delegate that.
Most of the time, yeah.
You a great job.
Thank you. And it is local. Yeah, we did that to get in there.
Early on, but
We're not here.
Bill, you get to the office.
Yeah, whatever you'd like.
Or you can come in and get.
Sure, I can do that too. Perfect.
Okay.
Very nice.
Moved by Councilor Ian Chambers and second by Councilor Eugene Caputo. Be it resolved that this council hereby accepts the presentation by the Recreation Committee of the following: $500 check to Prince Township Public Library, $250 check to Early On Center for the Prince Township site. Further to be resolved that this council thanks the Recreation Committee for their generous donation on behalf of the library and Early On Center.
And the comment I would make on this is, thanks for the people that come to all our functions we put on, and Recreation is here to donate everything back to the township. Nothing kept from Recreation, everything is 100% donated back. We buy equipment and everything else. And our new chair, Bobby Gilford. Okay. Any other comments? All in favor? Carried. Okay, planning.
Yeah. Moved by Councilor Ian Chambers and second by Councilor Eugene Caputo. Be it resolved that this council approves zoning bylaw amendment set 01, 2022, allowing a special exception to section 1.22 home-based business, a chiropractic office with following condition: that a chiropractic clinic only be permitted as a home-based business, that the provisions of section 1.22.1 of the bylaw apply to the chiropractic clinic.
And I assume, you want to come up? If your wife wants to come in, you can bring a chair too. Bring 2 chairs, so.
She's my everything, so.
Yeah.
Literally. Like that one. I'm not just having you.
Okay, we have some letters, so we'll read the letters first.
Okay, I got this letter from Jim and Mary Moore. It says, received the letter concerning the amendment of the property on Pinder Drive in second line from residential to home-based. These are our concerns. Will there be adequate parking? Since there are no sidewalks, having cars parked on the side of the road makes it difficult for pedestrians and people coming out of their driveways to see oncoming traffic. Would the building have a residential appearance? Would the rezoned property be limited to the stated purpose? The owners would like to have a chiropractic office, but are they allowed to change their mind and open another type of business on the property? Once the property is rezoned by a business, are future owners able to change the type of business in business at that location? Okay.
We'll give it, I'll let them give you time to answer the question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, it's pretty simple. Yes, there will be parking. I'm giving you a new updated plan. So when they enter from second line, they will be going straight in, and that straight in will have all the appropriate parking right there by the door, where there will be office downstairs, and they have their own entrance to go right downstairs, right back up, and then exit from the second line back. So, or Pinder, yeah, because we're gonna be opening up another, it's gonna be an in and an out. So they have an option, they can turn around and go out, or they can turn around and go, it's up to them.
And the other question is going to look at the house.
Well, I'm gonna give you a little bit of history, okay? This isn't our first time. So in Brantford, Ontario, where we established our practice in 2004 to March 31st, 2022, we had an in-home business. And my demand to my husband was, I want it to look like a home, not like a business. So having said that, the only sign we had was a directional sign, that big, literally that big, right? Saying Dr. Alfonso Taverna chiropractor, so they knew where to pull in. Again, a little sign that office downstairs, right? And we're talking small, we're talking small, right? Just so they know, okay, that's the door I go to, right? And it looked totally residential. So having said that, when we sold the house, the actual permit that went along with it became null and void. We did not sell products. We did not have any other professionals but ourselves, which is me, the secretary, and the chiropractor. And our advertising was literally as we spoke, a small directional sign to the door. It looked like a home, never bothered anybody. And we did have some lights that were on the property that, especially when it gets dark at night, they were on a light. So as soon as we were done, they were closed. So again, nothing was flashy, nothing was bold. It looked like a home. All my neighbors came to see us. They loved us. We never caused any trouble. We were parked in our driveway. And that's the end of it. So there won't be any obscurity to the prettiness that made us buy this property. It will still look like a home. It won't be overrun like a business. It is a one in, one out. It's one person, we're having two rooms. We did that back home, we're doing that here, right? It offers great quality care. My patient's still texting me to this day. So I bet even the patient's gonna be flying out to see him. Okay, so
No, that's her question. No one will be parking on Second Island. I don't even, I never agree.
the driveway is large.
Big enough.
There's gonna be a single car garage, double car garage, and right in front, they're gonna have at least 4 parking spots. But again, it is a one in, one out, right? If they overlap, they'll be overlapping for about 5 minutes at the most, because nobody really comes half an hour early, unless they make it. Right?
But
It doesn't cause a problem, it never has. It's a small private practice.
and I control the flow, so it's not a high volume, it's low volume, but quality care. That's what I chose. I worked with a lot of clinics in that time. And I actually caught a couple of chiropractors in town, so I got familiar with everybody here, not here, but in the city. So they just said that, you know, you just do your thing, do what you're supposed to do, help the public, take care of them. And that's how we do. I mean, I didn't do it for the money. I did it because I want to help people. That's just who I am.
He's got a photographic memory. I wanted him to become an orthopedic surgeon and he didn't want to. I really did, I swear to God. That's the truth.
You have to
He's
love,
really
you
good
gotta
at what he
love
does.
what you gotta love what you do. You gotta force someone to do something. But that's it. So everything, it's gonna be very low key. I don't like flashiness, so I'm very low key myself. So I do protect the, let's say, volume, like, the light, if I do the lights on, it goes off, it's on a timer, it goes off, and it always, that's how you back up, it goes off, even if it's 11 o'clock, nothing below that or before it. Honestly, because the time change, you have to change with it. And that's how I did it.
If you guys are interested in the sign, we brought it with us, it's in the back.
I have it.
You guys wanna see how big it
I brought
is?
everything.
It's small.
Let's counsel while I'm doing it.
It's very professional, so I did have to pay for a variance change. I think I was the first one in Brantford that challenged the law. It was me, so I set the standards that during that time. They documented that, but it was very, it was good enough. I'm not gonna say, it's just.
I'm gonna tell you something, we've got a very successful practice back home. To basically come to your area after visiting it, we fell in love with it. We knew we wanted to retire here. We found a piece of property, fell in love with that, and we are continuing our work here.
Now, ask the question.
What?
One of the questions.
I told you, it's photographic memory, what did I tell you?
I'm gonna be the only person living in that home, so when I retire, I'm gonna stay there.
Oh, yeah, no, we're changing. Okay, I didn't make you guys laugh, okay? I contacted the funeral home because we actually have all of everything paid, right? So I contacted them and said, how can I transfer to this area that I'm moving to?
right? So then I contacted a few homes here, and I actually have an appointment with them, because we're risking our bones here.
But I do respect your opinion, I really do. But that area, I feel like I'm blessed to be there. I love it there, it's beautiful. I try to keep everything original. I have a lot of younglings of maple and oak. Those are gonna try to continue. There's a lot of them died, there's a lot of ash trees, we had to cut them down. Some of the poplars, I decided were too close to the wires. So I made an effort to get that away from the wires.
We're gonna, I'll read the things in the letters.
Okay.
Okay.
We could go on and on.
Oh, I know.
Can I just ask two quick
No,
questions?
after the letters.
No questions?
Okay, we have the Conservation Authority, and they said that the subject property is located in an area under the jurisdiction of the Conservation Authority with regards to development, interference with wetland and alterations to shoreline and water zero rate 17606. The subject property is located, any further development of the subject property will require a site plan review and may require a permit from SSMRCA. They have no objections as long as you do,
Of course.
call it. The Oklahoma Health has no objections.
I want to let you know too, as a profession, I follow the rules and regulations, policies, so I do follow it.
Okay, and this is from our planner, Steve Turco. It is the opinion of the planner that the request rezoning meets the intent of the official plan, meets the intent of the zoning bylaw, and is recommended for approval. It should be noted that the correspondence has been received regarding questions on proposed home-based business. To summarize the letter asking about questions, questions on the appearance of the building and would the use be limited to only the state proposed car parking limit. With regards to parking, all parking associated with the use is proposed on site. In addition to the bylaw states that the use shall not have an adverse effect on the area with special regards to parking, traffic, noise, vibration, dust, and odor. Should any issues arise with parking, the township can enforce provisions of the bylaw. With respect to the appearance, the use will be occupied within the proposed residence and will blend into the residential character of the area. Lastly, it is important to note that only a car parking limit is recommended for approval and no other ambulatory health care service is being recommended, nor any other use that is not expressly permitted under the home-based business provisions of the bylaw. Future owners would not be able to change the type of business unless it's a business permitted by the bylaw or a future rezoning application is approved by the township.
Lord, do you have any more questions?
Something to the neighborhood? Not too hard. He's been working so hard in that lot. Day and night, day.
Just one minute. Council, who do you have a question?
I just wanted to welcome you first and foremost to Prince Township. We love having you, people move to our beautiful municipality. Good luck in the future on this. How will we be supporting this? I just wanted to know two questions. How many parking spots are there for clients? 2 in front of one garage, 4 in front of the other garage. I want to know how many parking spots. And I just want to know the size of the sign and the light. Will it obstruct and or influence somebody driving? Will it be a problem for somebody driving with right? You know, is it on? I think Pinder's on that little the corner, right?
Yeah.
Just
Well, why don't we go get it so you can.
no. I trust you, Carmel.
We use the LED lights,
Right on now.
so it's very low end. It's not those bright ones everybody does. Basically, it's just pointing at it it's pointing upwards like that. So it's not, I know what you think, it's not pointing at the cars this way, it's not pointing at the car, because it is blinded.
So it's one sided, not for both sides. You can see it coming from the hamlet and going.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. Great presentation.
Listen,
No,
you guys need to come, you guys come and see me, okay? So if anything happens to
You know
you,
what? Actually,
I'm not confident to say that, all right?
We want everyone at least, like, honestly, just come and check us out, right? Come and see us. Our
Oh, by the
doors
way, Brantford gave me, they already gave me an award of the best occupation they had in your city. That's how nice my occupation was. It was almost like a Beverly Hills look down there.
Cool.
Very clean. I'm very clean about that. So even my boards, you can check me out on the boards. They could believe how, because we all get assessments, okay? We do random assessments. So when they come and do random assessments, which is I have done, they just can't believe my level of experience. Go ahead, move.
Councilor Chambers?
Welcome to the town.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you.
I know you've been working like, a lot of work there. A year?
No, soon. We hope to be in there by October. So we hope to be in there by October. But like I said, that's a hope. So,
And me, on behalf of Prince Township residents, we welcome you.
thank you so much. You know what? We actually really put ourselves out there. We left our homes that we were born and raised. We left our families. We left everything, and we actually, this is our dream in life. You don't understand, right? When you live in a subdivision where you're bumper to bumper, and it's like living on Great Northern Road.
I don't want to cut you off. but we-
Oh, sorry.
You heard the resolution, all in favor?
We all love you.
Yeah.
I just have one quick question, Mr. Mayor. When did you come up last time that you fell in love with it? I know it wasn't in the winter.
It wasn't.
I know it wasn't in the winter.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, people in the zoo, I call you guys resilient people. Resilient.
We've had some good winters here.
Okay,
But you want to know what those September?
okay.
You know, it's September.
You heard the resolution, all in favor?
I'm not denying.
Carried.
Okay, you have to keep that sign up for another 20 days.
Okay.
Because somebody could, repeal it, like,
They can go to OMB and appeal.
yeah,
Okay.
you haven't had any. But it just has to be, they can't have business there for another 20 days. Okay?
They won't even be there.
Council
I'm waiting
I
everybody's
see you on the
comments.
lawn with a table and chair.
Yeah, it's a,
Okay, Council Colombo, you have to come in the office and sign this. Tomorrow.
thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming. We gotta move on.
Yeah,
Okay, talk there.
it was a
Listen,
pleasure.
pleasure is all mine, okay?
Okay.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
here would be alcohol, here would be alcohol. Here would be alcohol.
Okay, moving on.
I'll send my husband.
Bylaw, bylaw 2022-14 zoning bylaw amendment Z01-2022.
Moved by Councillor Ian Chambers and second by Councillor Jake Caputo. Be it resolved that this council adopts bylaw 2022-14, being the bylaw to amend zoning bylaw amendment Z01-2022, allowing a special exception to section 1.22, home-based business, the chiropractic office, following conditions that the chiropractic clinic only be permitted as a home-based business, and the provisions of section 1.22.1 of the bylaw apply to the chiropractic clinic.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Bylaw 2022-15, budget and tax rate, repealing 2022-09.
We'll do that.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about it.
Okay. No notice of motions? Correspondence? No?
Okay, moved by Councillor Eugene Caputo and second by Councillor Ian Chambers. Be resolved that the council accepts items 11A and B as information.
Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Moved by Councillor Eugene Pluto and second by Councillor Ian Chambers. Be it resolved that this council hereby agrees to place an ad in the Courageous Companions in the amount of $300.19. Just want to let you know that you are over budget already. You could only get $500.
Yeah, we,
So just wanna,
there's a resolution and we didn't budget for this. All in favor? Repeat it.
okay, moved by Councillor Eugene Pluto and second by Councillor Ian Chambers. Be it resolved that the council supports the resolution of the city of Brantford regarding the request for the immediate release of the Spire Secretariat. All documents regarding the former Mohawk Institute Residential School, and further, this council believes that this request should pertain to all residential schools across Canada. And further, that a copy of this resolution be forwarded along with the resolution of the city of Bradford to all parties named in section B of the resolution in the Federation of Canadian Municipalities.
Comments? All in favor? Carried.
Moved by Councillor Eugene Pluto and second by Ian Chambers. Councillor Ian Chambers, be it resolved that this council supports the resolution from the municipality of Brighton and the county of Hastings regarding the necessary changes to the Amber Alert system, and further that a copy of this resolution and those of Brighton and Hastings be forwarded to the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, the municipality of Brighton, the county of Hastings, and MPP Michael Manta.
Comments? All in favor? Carried.
Moved by Councillor Eugene Pluto and second by Councillor Ian Chambers. Be it resolved that this council supports the resolution of the county of Frontenac regarding Community School Alliance Action Plan and social and economic impact for small communities in Ontario, and further that a copy of this resolution and that of the county of Frontenac be forwarded to the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, the county of Frontenac, MP Terry Sheen, and MPP Michael Manta.
Comments? All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
Moved by Councillor Eugene Pluto and second by Councillor Ian Chambers. Be it resolved that this council supports the resolution from the Township of Greater Madawasak regarding the request to amend Ontario Regulation 3880-4004 under the Emergency Management and Civil Protections Act to protect exemption to the annual exercise requirement for municipalities that have activated their emergency control group and or emergency response plan in response to an actual emergency that year, in recognition of the significant resources used to respond in the emergency and the effectiveness of such response in evaluating the municipality's emergency response plan and procedures. Further, that a copy of this resolution and that of the Township of Greater Madawasak be forwarded to the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, MPP Michael Manta, Minister of Municipal Affairs, and the Solicitor General.
Comments? All in favor?
Aye.
You both council
Yeah.
chambers?
It just makes sense that they've just gone through an emergency and had to declare this. That to spend the time in doing an exercise when they're already going to be graded on what happened. They're already going to be under scrutiny on what happened. and everything. So to make them go through another exercise, I think. Yeah. Just,
Councilor Caputo?
We've been doing emergency fire alarms and evacuations where we've held all the contractors and everything. And everybody knows that it's happening already, so it's been pretty good. on the Thursday, we had an incident at the mill, and welders' slag fell onto a piece of plastic in a chiller, it's called, that purifies water, and it started a big fire. They must have read it in the newspaper and all that. And I just want to give kudos to the safety and protocol team that did the practice, even though everybody knew ahead of time that we were doing it. And it went a lot better in a real live incident with after doing the. So if you're prepared and you practice without being unbeknownst to anybody, you practice and it works good and everybody has a half hour off. Well, it did happen. The sirens went off and everybody went and did what they had to do. So I think it's a good support. That's my opinion.
Okay, you heard the resolution, all in favor? You good? Carried.
Okay, moved by Councillor Eugene Pluto and second by Councillor Ian Chambers. Be it resolved that this council proceed into closed session at
7:55.
7:55 PM to consider the following subject matter in accordance with municipal act. A, personal matter about identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, municipal building business. B, litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunal affecting the municipality or local board water system. Further, be it resolved that should the closed session be adjourned, council may reconvene in closed session to continue to discuss the same matters without authorizing resolution.
Here's the resolution, all in favor?
All right.
Carried.